Hi, I'm Nancy. Welcome to Mindful Yoga. Today we're going to have a class on the feet. We're going to be stretching them, massaging them, strengthening them, bringing some springiness to them, and generally feeling when we're in yoga poses, what is it like to feel the lay of the land under the feet? Let's start with a little bit of breathing. I'm in a chair today because I'm going to be showing you my feet. Coming into a position that is comfortable for you, well supported through the back if you're in a chair. And it's equally fine to be on the floor. Bringing your focus onto the breath. Relaxing through the belly. Aware of the action of the diaphragm, the muscles inside the ribs, a slight lift in the collarbones on the inhale, the letting go down through ribs, belly, feet on the exhale. As you exhale down, just be aware of the feet, the bottom of the exhale. Aware of the connection of legs and feet with the earth. A poem I wrote called Feet. Padded, clawed, calloused, hooved, two-toed, or five. Feet tell a story of earth, of hills and fat places, ice and hot sand, loam and clay, marsh and rocky stream beds. Feet don't think about bunions or crooked toes, warped toenails, or flat arches. They think about springing and sinking, towing and healing, sensing how, just how are we connecting with earth right now? How do we carry this animal being cross lay of land, cross play of life? It's a kind of love affair with every crumb and pebble, root and boulder that earth offers up. Two or three more long breaths here, arriving fully, letting the mind's thoughts go for the day. They will come back at the end, coming down into the belly, into the body, mind and body moving as one. And then opening the eyes, taking in your surroundings, bringing your attention to one of your feet. So I'm starting with my right foot. And I'm just going to bring my thumb or thumbs back from between the big toe and second toe, rubbing back between the metatarsals, those little bones that come back, just a couple of inches. And then going between the second and third toe and rubbing back, loosening up so that the bones of the feet can have more flexibility among them as they move, and then between the third and fourth toes, and between the fourth toe and the little toe, coming back maybe just an inch or so, depending how long your feet are. Then just rubbing across the top of your feet. Then we'll rub across the back of your feet, taking your knuckles and kind of back and forth, rubbing your way up the bottom of the foot. And do that 2 more times, bringing some softness to the arch. Again, loosening up through the bottom of the foot so the foot can be a little springier. Then we're going to loosen up our toes. We'll spread apart the big toe and the second toe, and then spread apart the second toe and the third toe, and on down the line, spreading apart third and fourth and pinky. Then taking the big toe and the little toe and spreading those apart, leaving the three in the middle. Then the second and the fourth toe, spreading those apart and leaving the middle toe hanging. Then we're going to pull the big toe up and the second toe down. So relax down through your ankle and your foot so that your toes can be relaxed. And a few times up and down with big toe and second toe. Same with second and third toe. Third and fourth toe. And fourth and fifth toe. Now bring your fingers to the bottom of the balls of the feet, and thumbs are on top. And we're going to bring the fingers out, spreading this upper sole here of the foot wide with the fingers. This helps the tarsal bones, which need to spread as you land on your foot. And they come together as you push forward, giving a chance for the muscles to contract and support the foot, and just generally so that you have mobility in your foot. Then let's bring fingers back to the Achilles. So the Achilles heel on the back side of the ankle bones, and just rubbing there. In foot language, this corresponds to the sciatic nerve, which we want to keep flexible. And then bringing the hands, the fingers up the calf, moving the lymph, moving the blood. The calves can always use a little movement and massage, which helps our circulation in general. Now coming back to the bottom of the foot, find the place in the middle at the bottom of the balls of the feet. So you're in the soft portion just under the middle of the balls of the feet. Bring the end of your thumb into that point. It's called the bubbling spring in Chinese medicine, and it relates to the kidney. Bring the end of the thumb into that point, go forward a bit, and then dig back towards the heel. So inwards and like a shovel, digging back towards the heel, and hold that for a moment. It's a place of grounding and calming. And later we'll stand and breathe with this point, breathing in through the bubbling spring, which is a good point for bringing in the cool water energy of the earth, drawing that into the heat of the kidney energy, and cooling it down. Overall health. And now one more point on our foot, the adrenal gland, which is of course nearer the kidney, and it's responsible for getting all uptight and fearful, as well as calming down. So bring the thumb up below the ball underneath the big toe, and press in and dig back down towards the heel once again. So you're kind of below that mound and just above the arch, giving some meridian support to the adrenal glands. And then before we leave this foot, whatever position you're in, maybe if you're sitting down, you bring your leg out and turn the ankle. If you're sitting on a chair, you might go with your hands in front of your knee and bring around the opposite direction. Then let's flex and point, and flex and point. Continue. Ankle, foot working together here. Feel the toes, the balls of the feet pushing down and pulling up. then coming to neutral and turning the foot towards the toe side, then turning the foot a little bit towards the pinky side, back and forth, which is another movement of the ankles and the foot. Then bringing that foot down, let's give some attention to the left foot. Once again, starting by bringing a thumb down from the area in between the big toe and second toe, coming down between the metatarsals, those little bones, and then between the second toe and third toe, and coming down, loosening up connective tissue, bringing some space between the bones, and then finally between the pinky and the fourth toe. Then we're going to rub on the top of the foot. Then coming to the bottom of the foot with the knuckles, working your way up, back and forth, going up the bottom of the foot. It works through tension that we hold in these dense tissues on the bottom of the feet, particularly the plantar fascia. Just a gentle pressure as you come up. You can also roll the bottom of your foot on a ball or a can. Feels good also. Now coming to your Achilles heel on this side and pressing on each side of the Achilles heel, above the heel and behind the ankle bones. Good for the sciatica. Then pressing with thumbs up the calves, improving circulation through the calves and down into the feet and down into the toes. Now coming back to the bottom of the foot, we'll find the bubbling spring on this side, under the balls of the feet, right in the middle. Digging your thumb in and then shoveling back towards the heel. And then relaxing down through spine, buttocks, the kidneys in the back of the waist. This is a kidney point in the meridian Chinese system, calming and grounding. And then finding this adrenal point, the adrenal glands near the kidneys, hoping to calm our fears as we bring our thumb under the big mound, underneath the big toe, under the ball of the big toe, and just kind of to the side and above the arch there, pushing in and shoveling down towards, pulling down towards the heel. And again, relaxing as you do this through shoulders and jaw. We often hold a lot of tension that isn't necessarily beneficial. And we'll turn the ankle, finding the best way for you to turn your ankle. We didn't do our toes on this side, we have to do that. Going back to that. Turning, foot and ankle, and around the opposite direction. Have a little click there. Then we'll flex and point, pushing down through balls of feet and toes and up through the same. One more time. Letting the foot be neutral, turning it up on the big toe side, on the arch side, and then turning up on the outer side of the sole of the foot towards the pinky, back and forth. Interesting to feel how the ankle works together with the rest of the foot. Now my toes are saying, hey, what happened to us? Let's come back, spreading apart each toe big toe from second toe, spreading those apart from each other. Then second and third toe, spreading them apart. Third and fourth toe. And fourth and fifth toe. Then let's push the big toe down and lift the second toe up, and then the opposite, back and forth. Then coming to the second and third toe, one toe down as the other one comes up. Relaxing down so that you can have full manipulation of your toes. The third and fourth toes. And then fourth and fifth toes. Now bring your hand to the big toe and the little toe and spread them out, leaving the three toes hanging there in the middle. Then taking big toe and second toe and fourth and fifth toes and spreading them all out, leaving that third toe in the middle. Loosening up the dense tissue throughout the foot, loosening up the bones, bringing the hands, the fingers to the underside, thumbs stay on top, and then spreading the lower balls of the feet out as you bring the fingers to the edges of the foot. Again, just giving some relief to those dense tissues, letting go of tension. And then maybe rubbing down the arch of the foot, a moment on that foot. Oh, our feet feel alive and awake. If you have a chair, put that aside for now. And we're going to come into a tabletop position. So hands are under shoulders and knees are under hips. And bringing some attention to our backbone, but at the same time our feet. So we're going to tuck our toes and come into a cat. So we're lifting up the muscles at the side of the waist, arching up through the back. Then as we come down into the cow, untuck the toes, come onto the top of the feet, long from the hips up through the shoulders. And then tuck the toes, lift up, opening up through the back vertebrae, and then untucking the toes on the top of the feet, opening up slightly and gently through the front of the vertebrae. One more time in each side of the spine. Then we're going to raise one knee, bring it up to the elbow, long in the back, and then cross over. And as we cross over, we're going to bring our gaze back to that toe, enjoying any stretch that comes with that through the side of the body. Then bring the gaze back so that it's just down towards the mat. Your foot is still back, crossed over. Go from the pinky side to the big toe side. So we're switching our foot, going from the pinky side to the big toe side. And you'll notice that that reverberates all the way up through the knee and up through the hip. So you're giving the whole leg with the turning of the foot a nice opening and release of tension. Bringing that knee back, other knee comes up towards the elbow, stretches back, comes across. Enjoy your twist as the gaze goes back and meets that toe. Then turning back so that your gaze is back towards the mat. And then the pinky toe side, turning to the big toe side of the foot, back and forth. Pinky side, big toe side. Feeling that up through the leg and into the hip as the thigh bone turns in the hip socket. So we're just doing the feet, but of course they're connected to everything else and affecting everything else. Now let's come back onto our heels, tucking our toes. If you have a blanket or anything, if you're sensitive and need a blanket, or if you don't want to do this, that's fine. Just relax and take a rest for a moment. We're going to tuck our toes. Make sure your small toes are coming up with the rest of the toes. Hug the inner heels in a bit. Allow gravity to stretch the tissues, connecting the toes to the rest of the foot. Relaxing down through belly and shoulders. Breathing. 2 more breaths here. We have this pulling back motion when we walk. A powerful push off from the foot, and we're helping that along here, opening our foot to be ready for that. And then we're going to, if it works for you, sit on the top of the toes. And this stretches out the midfoot bones and creates space. The toes, of course, are connected to the front of the shin bone through the ankle, and you could experiment by just very gently pulling the knee up, just the very littlest bit, so that you get a little more stretch across the front of the foot and up the shin. And you can try that on the other side. If that doesn't work, don't worry about it. All of this contributes to stability for standing, as well as for mobility in walking. And since we're back here, let's bring one hand back behind one hip to the side and come over in an arabesque twist, and over on the other side, back and forth. Exhaling into the twist. One more time, inhaling up and exhaling. Inhaling up and exhaling over. Now bring your hands forward and come back onto your feet. We're going to be rising up here into a knee bent forward fold. If it works for you with your knees bent, bring your fingers and even your parts of your palms underneath the toes and the feet. These are both very sensitive, highly functioning parts of the body with lots of nerves, the bottom of the feet and the palms of the hands and the fingers and toes. And we're just bringing those together, connecting parts of the body that don't always get connected. Feeling that cycle up through the feet, the legs, around the torso, and down the arms, into the palms, into the feet, and around again. And then removing the feet, bringing the hands up to the shins, bringing the hips a little higher, pressing into the shins, long from tailbone up through the crown of the body. And then let the hands help you as you trace up the front of the legs. And we'll come into a sun salutation. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold down. Bring the left foot back, right foot stays forward into a long, low lunge. My knee is up and my toes are tucked in the back. And then we're going to push up through the heel, increasing the circulation through the foot and through the calf. Also bringing some spring to the foot, spring that is necessary in really every step we take. Little stretch for the plantar fascia. Then bring that knee down in the back, coming into a knee down lunge. We're going to bring our front hand over the foot in the front, pressing down on the top of the foot and bringing this knee forward a bit, increasing the dorsiflexion, the flexion in the front of the ankle. And coming back up into your knee down lunge with the back knee right under the ankle. Bring the hands together at the forehead, pushing up slightly as if you had a light cloud that you were pushing up, and bringing the hands to the center of the chest and pushing up. And one more time. And bringing hands down around that front foot. Bring the right foot back with the left foot into a downward dog. And be long and low with a long spine. Shoulder blades widening towards the outside of the back. Elbows turned a little bit inwards and up. Strong through the arms. And then let's lift up through the heels. Coming up on tiptoes, stretching, loosening through the feet, bringing that springy power to the bottom of the feet. Pausing there, weight into the left foot, right foot comes forward, or you come down on your knees and make your way to high lunge. If you want to bring that right foot forward, bring the left foot forward just a bit, jump forward a bit on your foot, and then rubbing the hands up the calf, employing muscles to get up into a high lunge. So anyway, coming somehow into a high lunge, planting the foot back behind, feeling the lay of the land with the feet. Front foot feeling a little different underneath that front knee than the back foot. And you can always tuck that back foot and raise the heel a little bit if you wish. Bring the hands together, interlaced behind the buttocks. Pull down so that the shoulder blades and shoulders are coming down a bit towards the waist. And then lifting just 3 or 4 inches back there. Bringing some glide into the front eyes of the shoulders, the corners of the shoulders in the front. Option to come forward into a yoga mudra, torso comes parallel to the earth or diagonal. Arms might rise up or they might not, respecting the issues of the shoulders, and coming back up. Bring the arms wide. Twist so that left hand comes around towards right foot. That arm goes up and the back hand comes to the back of the waist with the palm outwards. Bring some energy around the belly button to support this pose. A little twist, a stretch upwards, and a strengthening through the core. The glutes, the legs, the psoas is busy as well. And come around and bring the feet together. And we'll do it on the other side. Bringing arms up, coming into a forward fold. Let left foot be forward and right foot come back into that long, low lunge. Pushing up through the foot. Feeling the plantar fascia working like it does when you push off with every step. And bringing some circulation to the calf and the foot. Now we'll come into that knee down lunge. Knee comes down. Knee is a little bit behind the hip at first in the back. Bring the hand down onto the top of the foot and then come forward with that front knee a little bit more so that you're increasing the dorsiflexion here between the foot and the shin. One more place where we want flexibility. Then using the hands, bringing that knee in, the back knee in under the hip, finding your strength through the legs and hips here. And once again, bringing the hands up, lifting up the cloud, coming down to the chest, squeezing the thighs in towards the belly and towards the hips for balance. And one more time. Bringing the hands down, coming into downward dog. And lifting up through the heels, long from the hands through arms, back through the hips, lifting up heels. Nice stretch for the feet here and the toes. Then bringing that left foot forward, jumping the back foot forward a step, bringing hands to the shins, rubbing up and coming up into high lunge, or coming down on knees and finding your way up into high lunge. Fingers interlaced behind the buttocks, pulling down, shoulder blades are coming down, and then we're lifting up through arms and hands, just lifting back really, several inches, increasing the glide there, breaking up the dense tissue in the corners of the shoulders in the front. And then option to come over into yoga mudra. Arms might just lie along the sides, body might come diagonal, or it might come parallel to the earth. Arms might rise up. Always respectful of the limitations and possibilities of the body. Coming back up, bringing the arms wide, twisting so that the right hand, comes around towards the left foot. That arm, the front arm comes up, the back arm, the hand comes to the back of the waist, palm out, cinching in around the belly button. Strong through the glutes, particularly in that back leg, strong through the psoas in the front. And bring it down. Bring the hands to the hips and bring the feet together. Coming into mountain pose for a moment. One hand comes to chest, one hand comes to belly. Feeling the feet against the earth. Inviting the breath to bring energy up from the earth. Meeting the earth in the bubbling spring. Our energy, earth energy coming together. Traveling through the bubbling spring in the middle, just behind the balls of the feet. Up through feet and legs. Particularly up into the back of the waist, the kidney area. Inhaling and exhaling back and forth. Bubbling springs, up the legs, and into the kidneys. And bringing the hands down, bring the hands to the sides of the hips. If you'd like a chair, this is a bit of a balance. We're going to be tapping our foot around in a clock. So if you want a chair here on one side, that would be fine. Or just using your balancing muscles, or maybe a little bit of each. Bringing the toe out, bringing it over in front, and then a few points here on the side of the clock and back. Side of the clock, a few points forward and across. Finding some synchrony with the breath here. Pointing the toe. And one more time, back around, and bring the foot back. Find that position of mountain again with some curiosity now that you have the support of both feet. Experience the engagement through the arches, becoming aware of the muscles there that bring an effect up in behind the knees and up into the inner thighs and all the way up into the glutes. Aware of the weight of the body coming down on the heels, coming across mainly to the mounds of the first, second, and third toe. Very stable position here. Fourth and fifth toes are really for balance. And you might wiggle the toes a little bit. Mounds of the first three toes giving you that stability, and the fourth and fifth toe mounds and toes giving you some balance. And then coming to the other side, perhaps using a chair or not, establishing the foundation leg on this side and pointing the toe, tapping 3 to the side and then back, pause, 3 to the side and back to the front, and then come across. Front, diagonal, side, diagonal, and back. Strong through the glutes and up through the side of the hip here and back. I just had a twinge there, and that's why I reminded you to keep that strength in the glute. So you have to do some double thinking here, not only of going around the clock with the toe, but also of keeping this other side strong. And one more time back around and bring the foot in. Let's come into warrior one. One foot is forward and one foot is back. Front knee is bent. Back foot is a little bit outwards to 30 degrees or so, or it could be toes forward. Either one is fine. Important here to feel with the feet, to become very rooted, feeling the lay of the mat, and in your mind's eye, reaching down into the soil, into the earth. Opening the arms so the hands, palms are forward, shoulder blades are squeezing in towards each other. Heart is open, peaceful warrior. One more breath here. Then arching up, not coming into a back bend right away, but lifting up from the roots that you have put down into the earth, up through legs, through the pelvis, through heart, up through the crown. Shoulder blades are actually down the back, but the arms are reaching up. I mean, the very tips of the shoulder blades are down the back. And then opening up from pubic bone up through collarbone, shoulder blades squeezing together. No big hinges in the back of the neck or at the back of the waist. And coming back down, keeping those roots in the feet. Relaxing down through the feet, brightening the arches up through the thighs, bringing that energy up through the body as fingertips reach up towards the ceiling, crown reaches up towards the ceiling, and then squeezing shoulder blades together and opening up through the front of the body. And bringing it down. Bring the feet together. Take a breath. Other foot comes back, finding your warrior one pose on this side. Feeling the feet once again, rooting down through the heels, through the outside of the soles, through the mounds of the first 3 toes. Brightening the arches, engaging up through the legs into the inner thighs. Glute strong in that back leg. Opening the arms with palms forward, a bit behind the body, shoulder blades squeezing together. Peaceful warrior. Rooting down into the earth, finding the calm grounding of the earth. And then arching arms up, fingers up towards the ceiling. The crown rises up, rooting down through the feet, and then opening pubic bone up through collarbone. And coming back. Inhale up, reach up, and squeezing shoulder blades together, opening through the front of the body. Nice, smooth, natural curves of the spine are maintained. Pressing into the feet, keeping that rooting down, and then coming back down. And bringing the feet together. Let's come down into a Shavasana for a supine twist before we end here today. Legs are extended out, relaxing down behind the heart and behind the kidneys, the waist. Feeling the softness in the calves, the heaviness in the heels, the softness in the arches, the balls and middle part of the feet, the toes. Let the right leg be extended, left foot comes up by the right thigh. Hips go over slightly towards the left. Arms come out from the shoulders horizontally. Left foot comes up on right thigh, and hand draws that knee across, arranging the hips and the legs and the arms so that you have comfort. Perhaps there's a little bit of stretching where there's a muscle that needs to be stretched. If there's pain, always back off. Relaxing down through hips, the backs of the thighs, the hamstrings, behind the knees, the calves, down into the Achilles heel, the arch of the foot, the bubbling spring, the area between the first and second toes, the area between the second and third toes. And then rolling back to middle. Extend the left leg out. Right foot comes up by the left thigh. Hips go over to the right. Right foot goes up on left thigh. Draw that knee across. Find your comfort zone where you can relax through the belly, relax through the hips. Soft belly, soft hamstrings, back of the knee. The calf is relaxed. Letting go through the ankle, the Achilles, through the plantar fascia on the bottom of the foot, soft arch, soft middle of the foot, soft outer sole. Aware of the space between the little toe and the fourth toe. The space between the fourth toe and the third toe. All the toes in both feet, relaxing as if into some quiet music. And then releasing and rolling over on your back. Perhaps you lie with legs extended or knees leaning in towards each other, bent. Feeling the softness of the belly. Relaxation through the bottom ribs. the top of the lungs and the heart beating, breathing without tension. Relaxing through the back of the neck, letting go through the hinges of the jaw and the temples. Forehead smooth. Cheeks rosy. Tongue relaxed down through the root of the tongue into throat and down into heart. Heart at peace. You're welcome to stay here and relax. If you're coming back into your day, rolling over on your side, and pushing up into a seated position. Wishing our best to our feet, our connection with the earth, our grounding, our source of earth energy. Namaste. Thanks for practicing. Keep walking. Keep springing on those feet. See you next time.